What's going on, Sea Bears? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are in another episode of Gear Up, where we review My Engineer the series. This review is in collaboration with Jess and Lay from Thoughts of Why on YouTube and their podcast, as well as Jen from Twitter and Jen's BL View and Reviews. So if you would like to check them out, make sure you hit those links below. Today is going to be short and sweet. We're going to be reviewing episode 14 as well as giving you my overall thoughts on the series. If you are new, hello. If you are returning, hello again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you know whenever I upload, as well as follow me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at JordyC. And guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. The way that I'm going to review episode 14 is just splitting it up by the couples, just because that's the easiest way for me to kind of flow through the plot and everything and just kind of give my thoughts about it. So we start off with Mech and Boss. Vaughn shows up, creates a little divide between Mech and Boss, but they ultimately end up solving it. Boss officially confessing his feelings to Mech in front of everybody with a megaphone. We love a confident king. I'm really glad that Vaughn wasn't portrayed as a bad character. At first, I was like, oh god, she's coming back in here and she's going to fuck shit up. And I'm not gonna like her because I liked her. Like, she was nice. She's pretty, she's nice, she's talented. Like, how can you not like her? So I'm glad that they did not portray her as a bad character. And instead, Boss explained everything to us, and commend Boss for explaining things to her and not being too... And we commend Boss for being careful with her feelings, explaining, hey, I still liked you. When we were together, it was good. It was fine. But I realized that I like Mech more. And just that whole situation that happened between us with your manager made me realize that it was meant between me and him and not you and I. Then we move on to Mr. Tada and Mr. Frong, and Tada ends up finding, you know, Frong's necklace that his dad gave him, which is so sweet. He literally missed the little planting thing that they had, and that whole day, even I think he even left that night when Frong fell asleep. I think he left that night to look for it. Bitch, what? And he found it, gave it to Frong. Even though later on we find out that they're only brothers. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, Vaughn and Dune make up as well. So, of course, we still don't really know why Dune decided to like just leave off in the woods. If anybody knows why, leave it in the comments below. So everybody's looking for him. We have a little Together the Series parallel where his phone dies, the light dies, every animal in the world wants to come out of nowhere and eat that ass. I'm sorry, not eat that ass. Eat him in a bad way. But luckily, Vaughn finds him, they make up, they hash their little thing out, and we get, was it 3 kisses? I think it was only 2, maybe it was only 2, but we get, regardless, we get all the kisses that we were supposed to get throughout the series. That's the only, we'll get to that. We're gonna continue summarizing the story. Now, we move on to Mr. Ram and Mr. King. It got a little frustrating for me because King was suppressing his feelings for Ram. He didn't specifically highlight necessarily why or what the reasoning behind it was. The only thing we got was that he was just saying, it was hard for me. Like, you make me feel good, you make me feel safe, you make me feel awesome. Like, I like you, so that's why I suppressed those feelings and I pushed you away. But I feel like there's a deeper meaning behind that. Like, if something makes you feel good, you don't really just push it away. But at the same time, I think that Ram felt that as well. And then King basically has this thing in his head when he comes across a situation. I don't think that there is, I think there's something that we're missing from King's background, which I feel like we're gonna get a lot of in season 2. There's a lot that we're missing in King's background that we don't know, that will probably justify the way why he reacted the way he did. But I feel like in his head, whenever a situation arises that he has not yet encountered and he does not know how to process or to navigate, he will keep it at a far enough distance to where he can observe and like figure it out, but also close enough to where he doesn't feel like he's removing himself from the situation altogether. If that makes sense at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. Who knows? Now I'm rambling. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. But they did a very good job at setting up for the next season for King Ram, or Ram King, however you want to twist it. It don't really matter. It don't really matter. Of course, that night King was drunk, Ram wasn't, and you know, they had their little smooch. Next morning, King tried to play it off like it didn't happen because he thought Ram was drunk. But I think that whole scene, that morning scene, justified and just further like highlighted the reason why Ram is selectively mute and does not necessarily just talk out of context, because he was like, oh, so you're gonna play like that didn't happen. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my back pocket and save it for later. But also, I think later on Ram realized that if he probably confronted King about it right then and there instead of letting him process it, it would have been bad for the both of them. So he waited till King got in his little safe space, which is his truck that magically appeared at the campsite, even though they rode a bus there. But he texted him and said, I wasn't drunk last night, sir. So we need to talk when we get back to this condo. But I kind of hope that in season 2 they pick it up from literally right after the camping trip thing, because I want to know what's gonna happen between King Ram. Like, what are they gonna talk about when they get in the condo? What are they gonna do? I think his name is Tong, but I'm gunning for Tong, Ting, Ting, Tong, whatever you want to call it. I need for that to happen. Bitch, what if we got like a GL with like Fawn and Ting? Ooh, that's a concept, bitch. That is a concept. Alright, so moving on with my overall thoughts of the series. Overall, if I had to rate, I guess if we put in a little like 5-star rating system and I had to rate my engineer, I would probably rate it 4 to 4.5 stars out of 5. This is just my opinion. I'm more of the type that just loves like just the romance part of it. Even though Bond and Doohan's relationship the whole entire time, not the whole entire time, the first like few episodes with them like flirting and stuff, I was like, oh, I was like living for them. But then like when they got together, then they like annoyed the shit out of me. Besides that part, removing that, King Ram and Mech Boss's stories just really, it just filled my heart. Like, it was so cute. I was not looking for Mech Boss at all. They were not in my line of sight. It was tunnel vision King Ram with a side of Bone Dun, and then by the middle of the series it was tunnel vision King Ram with another main entree that is Mech Boss, and then Bone Dun was like a condiment. Yeah, or maybe a drink. They were a drink because they were cute at times, and like I would go back to them, you know, after I was satiated with Mech Boss and King Ram. So I would go for a sip here and then. So let's upgrade them to a drink. It's a show that you can watch more than once and not really get tired of it. It has some little things in it that are just like, but overall, it's a really nice series. It brings me back to what Thai BL was in 2015 to 2000 and I would say end of 17, going into 2018. It brought me back to like that era, that sweetness, that a story with a little bit more substance and things like that. So it just had a lot of parts to it that reminded me of just so many Thai BLs back in the 2016 to 2018 era. Just the camera style and the way that they did flashbacks and the filters and the filming style, and just it's one of those series that just makes you feel really good and just kind of like innocently, just I guess innocent, like innocent love. That's basically, yeah, that's a good title for it, innocent love. Maybe not Bone Doing, maybe actually Mech Boss, they weren't innocent, but overall it was like innocent love. Anyway, you get what I'm saying, what I'm putting down. So lastly, what I'm looking for in season 2. I'm looking for Rom King to be the main couple. I'm looking for Mech Boss to be a little side couple. I'm looking for Tata Frong to also be a main couple. I'm looking for 2 main couples. I mean, technically in season 1, Rom King and Bon Dun were the main couples. So I'm looking for Rom King, Tata Frong to be the main couples in season 2, with a side of Mech Boss and a little sprinkle of Bone Dun. Just pop in to show us how their relationship has progressed. That's all we need, really. Excuse me. I want to know more about what happened to Rom and his family, what happened to the dad and stuff like that, because he's been gone for a little bit, and I'm pretty sure the mom is like, what? And I'm pretty sure the brother is like, what? But I'm sure that Rom's brother also knows what's going on with his dad, but I also think that Rom's brother knew way before Rom found out about what his dad was doing. He just kept it quiet. One, probably because he knows how Rom would have reacted. He knew bitch was gonna be out. Rom said, nope, I am not staying in this situation. I want to find out more about King's family. We really only know about his sister and his mom, and we know a little bit about his other siblings, like the names of them. And do we know anything about King's dad? I don't think we do. No, I don't think we do. Duan's dad and his family, because Duan and Bone like got together and made it Facebook official and all this shit, but like, what about his dad? His dad made some comments that were like, you're being too like feminine and you're being too fragile and stuff like that. When you're gonna get a girlfriend? Well, he got him a whole boyfriend. And lastly, just learning a little bit more about Frong and Tata, of course, and their families. Learning more about Tata. Tata, I feel like he's an elusive character. Does anybody else feel that? Because, okay, if we look at it, really the only thing we know about Tata is that he is a medical student, or he's like currently a doctor. He has a pet lizard, and his dad passed away. But that's it. Like, at least with Frong, we know his dad passed away. We met his mom. We know like his background with Duan. We know that there's something that went on with him and Bon way back in the day, which is why he doesn't really trust Bon, like talking about it. That's gonna be it for this Gear Up today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, as well as leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts on My Engineer was. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know which couple you stan. Let me know what you are looking for in season 2. And if you have read any of the books, if you have any spoilers, please do not spoil it for the people in the comments below. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Make sure you check out Jen at Jen's BL Views and Reviews, as well as Jess and Lay on Thoughts of Why Podcast on YouTube. And guys, I will see you in the next video. So yeah, bye.